Okay. Let's have webcam on. Where's my webcam? Stream preview is showing no webcam. Is it because I got it open here? That's shouldn't change it, should it?
I'd close it anyway because some things can only be accessed by one thing at a time.
Okay, so it says I have the USB camera in. It's saying it's not got anything coming through. I don't know why. It's got nothing coming through on the webcam. Yeah, I've got no feed coming into it. Plug it out and plug it in. Is it this one?
Yes.
Hey, we're in. Okay.
I cannot find you on Twitch.
That's a good start. Save all that. We are in. Let's have a test. That we have. Yeah, that's my username. Chat room is working. Fantastic. Gonna give me some space here. Gonna tweet out a second that we are here.
There we are. You come up.
Fantastic. Apparently I am live, so that's a good start. Fantastic. Amazing. Okay. Right. Excuse this a second. I'm just going to brain fart. Just going to tweet out that we are here right now. Oh, my voice sounds so weird when I can hear it in the other room. Oh, that's very sweet of you.
Yeah, so there's about a 5-second lag.
There's always a lag, so that doesn't surprise me.
Okay, let me post viewer.
Bulbasaur. And then we try and send a link. twitter.com/shadow J _B. That's Twitter, not Twitch. I can not spot. Thanks for autocorrecting that phone. Oh, that's because I've got my thing on. I think that works. Perfect. Let's not have myself on over myself. So I've told the world, well, a whole 3 followers that were online. So yeah, so I got my Bulbasaur app in front of me. Thought I'd start with number 1. If there's any problem with the camera or anything like that, and I get any followers, please tell me. I have no idea. Oh, I have 2 viewers. Fantastic. Hello. Feel free to come and chat. As I said, this is my first ever art stream, so please bear with me for any little novice things. Hopefully you are seeing what I'm seeing. I normally start with the head, right near the face, just where that really nice first curve is. So I'll go around here and it comes and is lovely. I'm using a 2H by the way as well. 2H I find is a really nice first layer sketch pencil. So just a nice, really lovely curve there. Don't want it too high. Don't want it too big. We're only going here. So I think I'm going to use my rubber already. I'm not using anything too fancy. I'm using just basic stuff. I think actually let's give Bulbasaur all the room, shall we? And we'll give it the full A5 treatment. So, or I can just break my sketch pad. I can do that too. I'm just gonna make sure I'm gonna get it all lined up for you all, so you can see what's going on. There we go, much better. Okay, so as I was saying, nice curve to start with Bulbasaur's head. I hold my pencil very weirdly. I am very aware of that. I am ambidextrous, but I draw right-handed, so it kind of. Just gonna double check if you can see how much I'm drawing there. So yeah, I kind of hold like I'm left-handed, right-handed. It's kind of a little bit odd. And then we're going to go into the ear, so give that a little basic triangle there. So again, this is very early sketching. I think that's coming out on the screen. If it's not, please tell me in the chat and I'll adjust my camera accordingly. I'm also recording this as well. I'm going to pop this onto my YouTube, so if you aren't able to stay for too long, let me know. I do change a lot of my lines as I'm going along, so this first line I'm going to change again because I think it's actually too curved. I think actually Bulbasaur has sort of that flattish line as it first comes in, so we're going to do the adjustment there. Like so. This layer is very, very sketchy. Not any lines are. What's the word I'm looking for? If I do a line, I don't just go straight. It's. Where's my camera? I don't just go shunk and there's my line done. I do very small, sort of scratchy motions across. So we've got it there. So we'll turn ourselves around a bit, and we're going to do slightly curved flattish line there. Maybe a little longer. Again, as you see, it's lots of flashes. I think you can see a little bit what's coming up there. Just gonna put myself on. See if I can open this view. Hi, I want to offer promotion to your channel. Hi JJ, thank you very much. I'll read that afterwards. For now, I'm going to go straight on Bulbasaur head. So going round, and this ear now is going to create a lot of the shape. So again, we're going for that little sort of softened triangle, and then I'm going to go straight down here. And again, lots of adjustments to this line because this is going to be the key sort of shape at the back of Bulbasaur's head, so I'm going to adjust that line a lot. Also, I need to make sure that it's shorter than the line at the front, because if you look at Bulbasaur, have a page up, open up a page where you have Bulbasaur and you can see what's happening in front of you if you like. Yeah, and then what I'll do now is I'll again adjust this line a little bit. And then we're going to curve it in, and we're going to go quite straight on this. Going to go quite straight across. And there we go. We've got a Bulbasaur, most of a Bulbasaur head there, because it's very curved motion on the top. There's a curved motion on top, and then flat as you go underneath, which hopefully you are seeing right now. There we go. Let's see what we're going on there. I think we've almost got too much light here. I'm just going to adjust the light and see if that helps us at all. So give me a moment. There we go. I can see immediately. I can see that you can see that better as well with that lower light. So hopefully that's. Oh, I'll get my legs crossed. Always find a comfortable position that you can draw in. So there we go. So we've got the basis of his head right there. So there we go. Again, you can see I've got a lot of scratchy lines here. That'll be done. So my first layer I always do pencil. As I say, I've got 2H. I sometimes use the H. Depends what I have available to me because I've been moving house a lot recently. But then I go on to what I really love using then after that is these watercolor pencils. Really, really good. This brand I particularly like. It is the Premium Artists I quite like. And then once I've done that, then I just use a small fine details pen, black pen, just to go over my lines then. And at that point then I'm really careful to make the lines as smooth as possible. So after this, I'm going to curve down this line slightly because I haven't quite given myself enough room because Bulbasaur is smiling in my reference picture here. So sometimes he's not, sometimes he's grumpy. Think about the episodes in the anime where Bulbasaur is guarding all of those. You notice a lot in the Pokemon as well. They have this little sort of almost lump that comes out right on the side of their faces. They always have this sort of little extra lump. So sort of pop that in there. Pokemon that's got quite obvious lump is Eevee. So very much has that. As you look at the face, it sort of has this little extra bit by here. So going to that Bulbasaur. That one's it's a little bit too seeable there at the moment, so I'll probably calm that down later. But again, we got the ref size. Then we got Bulbasaur's beautiful smile. As you can see, I move my paper a lot. If you want me to pause so you can have a look at what's going on, again, just tell me. This is my first time, so bear with me, please. And yeah, any recommendations you can give me, please do, because I'm quite excited to start this journey. I've been drawing on and off since I was a little kid, but the last couple of years I've been trying to take this drawing a bit more seriously. So Bulbasaur's mouth, it's a really nice simple line. It's going to meet up. He's quite smiley today, so just going to meet up. It's going to be just where that little lump is on the side here, and just where that gap between the two lines on the other side of his head is there. There we go. I always try and keep my pencil as sharp as possible as well. So I've done quite a lot of, I don't know when the tip is, quite a lot of sharpening with this pencil now. I know my camera isn't the best quality, so I do apologise for that. I am looking into getting another one if this maybe kicks off, but funds at the moment are tight, so we'll see how that goes. With the reference picture I'm using for Bulbasaur as well, it's got, let's have a look if I can add a edit layout. Yeah, look at this, there we go, right. It's got chatting, so I just need to add I'm absolutely new to this, I do apologise. That is not what I wanted at all in the slightest. Picture of Bulbasaur on green, and tell you what, that would be a good call, Sarah. Is if we put the link in. Oh, we found out that I closed it. Never mind. We'll go to what we were before. That's fine. Oh, edit scene. Here we go. Right, add layer. Fantastic. So I want an image in chatting. Add. Nope, not that one. Okay, images. Recent. Nope. Browse. Here we go. Desktop. Reference. So there we go. Right, we do not need that as big, do we? So let's reduce the size of that a lot. And he can go in the corner there. There we go. So that's the reference picture I'm going off. Let's save that. And hopefully, there we go. Hopefully that's okay for everyone. So that's the reference picture I'm going off. So you can see in his, no, I'm pointing to the screen. On the right hand side, that smile is just a little bit bigger than the left hand side with perspective. So just going to add in these cute little nostrils. And then just going to go underneath this little big smile. Yeah, little big smile, a little bit of a contradiction there. So, again, none of this is set in stone yet, so probably will get adjusted as we go. So there we go, so we're going to smile on him now as we go there. He has this little tooth that pops out here. Can't really see one side of it, but we can see the other side, and then it just goes over the lip. Just on this side there. Again, just looking slightly bigger because of the angle that you're looking at. And then we have the little tongue line there. So there we go. So we're starting to see a little bit of representation of Bulbasaur. So as I'm doing this, I'm looking generally around and I'm thinking this here is a bit too pointed up. I think I need it a little bit flatter. So I think I'm gonna just adjust that just a little bit, so it goes up there instead. And this is what I'm doing. Another set on it, and again that helps with the perspective because that was a little bit big before. Adjust it now, and now we have a lot of Pokemon I've noticed as well, and other cartoon drawing. So I've been talking to Nick Parkinson recently, who's lovely. It'd be no comic. A lot of art, comic art, doesn't have the lines linking. So you can see next to Bulbasaur's ear, he doesn't link here, doesn't link here, doesn't link here. There's a lot of loose lines. Next one to the eyes though, lot of lines of the eyes. So again, we got a reference point, so it's our starting. Now it's looking a little slanted. Now I've done the face, the eyes. When you look at it, are actually straight up. So I'm gonna need to make this a little shorter here to come in here and then go straight up to actually get the right line. So we're actually that looks much better. So I'm looking at that now, and that looks much better. So it probably seems like I'm not getting anywhere, but this way you know. Well, one, you keep learning, but also as you go in, and as I hopefully get better as I'm doing this more frequently, I'll need to do this less times. Bulbasaur I have drawn a couple of times before, but a very long time ago, so I'll give myself a little bit of leeway for that. So there we go. So that's got much nicer shape now. I'm much happy with that. So there we go. One general head shape. So to the eye, we're following to the side quite a lot here. So gonna line it up. So lines up almost with the line here. So I'm gonna go just a tiny bit away from there, and it's pretty straight up. Curve to the top, very classic anime style with the big eyes. They kind of look freaky when you're first starting to make them because it doesn't really look like it goes with the face, but well, there we go. So general eye shape there. I'm thinking about how far away you want to be from those nostrils as well. So bear in mind, this eye is obviously going to look a lot smaller than the eye across here as well, because the eye across here, we're looking away slightly, so the eye across here, and just look how far it is away from the nostril. We're going to be on the end of it at the edge where that little mouth flick, that little happy mouth is. So that's going to be looking bigger. Nice up here, nice curve around. Near enough got where we wanted it. Curve in the corner there. Curve in the corner there. Pretty happy with that for first attempt. I'll probably have little tweaks of it again as I go along. But we can do a nice little eyebrow here and eyebrow here as well. I think I might just do a little sharpener with a pencil because it doesn't feel quite right. Don't need much, just need a bit more of a edge on it. That's a bit better. So you can see immediately there, that's a much better line that I'm getting from the sharpened pencil. There we go. Okay, so my Bulbasaur, I'll admit, the Bulbasaur I've done before, oh, excuse me, has never quite ended up with the same triangles on its face. And they never seem to quite end up. Well, I said markings, I should say, because that one's a cube right here, isn't it? So there we go. I am looking at potentially. Actually, yeah, you can see that pretty okay, can't you? Again, go down. Just trying to look at what else I've drawn so far as reference, trying to get everything. Because even if it's not in perfect reference to drawing, this is my version of Bulbasaur at the end of the day. It doesn't need to be perfect to the one that's there, just as long as everything's in proportion. So there, I'm pretty happy with that. Maybe I'm just going to curve that out slightly, just so it's less pure triangle. Curve that out slightly. Look at that. There we go. Quite happy. This rubber I quite like actually because it's very pointed, so I can really be accurate with where I want to rub out. There we go. And again, a lot of these lines, you're not going to be seeing any of them because they'll all be under biro at the end of the day anyway. Just excuse me a second. I normally have, unfortunately, I've been moving house a lot recently, but I normally have artist gloves because being that I draw like a lefty, I have a habit of smudging my work. like a lefty does as well. So, but unfortunately, my house has no heating at the moment and has no hot water. So we're currently dealing with that. So that doesn't look quite right. That needs to be. He's got a bit of chubbier cheek there. He has. So we'll give him a bit of extra chin, extra cheek going up there. There we go. Yeah, I have no hot water, no heating, so I'm currently at my in-laws, which is very, very kind of them, but it means that I only have limited stuff with me. I feel like I'm living out of a suitcase, basically, at the moment. That's pretty much what I'm doing. Alright, let's get back to these eyes. So he's looking, in my reference picture, he's looking this way. So gonna have the eyes going across there, and they go almost halfway across. Again, all very nice and curves. Very, very rarely a straight line in Pokemon, which to be honest I'm quite happy with, because just singly drawing a straight line I suck at. So that's a nice line there. I might extend that pupil slightly, but overall quite happy with that eye. And again, he is mostly looking to the side, so obviously takes up a bit more here, round that out at the bottom a bit more, but we do see the entirety of this pupil in the middle here, so try and get that looking good. And there we have. It looks like we've got a bit of a Bulbasaur head going on there. Quite happy with that as first attempt when I haven't picked up. I've had you see how red it is, how dry it is. I've had injuries on my hand, so haven't been able to pick up a pencil, and it's been excruciating. So very, very nice. Today it's the first day I picked up a pencil since before Christmas, probably since before December. So very happy to be back drawing. If you do want to see some more of my artwork, I have posted some of it on my Twitter, which is the same username for ShadowJ_B, because someone was very kind enough to already have ShadowJB. So ShadowJ_B is on my Twitter. Obviously that's here on my Twitch, and I'm also going to be rebranding my YouTube channel for the same thing as well. So my one viewer, who very thankful that you are joining me on this journey, that is where you can find other stuff as well. Right, so I usually have a debate here of which way I'm going to go. Sometimes I go towards the higher end, sometimes I go towards lower. I'm thinking to get the length of Bulbasaur is quite important, so I think I'm going to go down the back and then do his leg, and then I know the length of the Bulbasaur I'm going for there. Pokemon generally have sort of quite big heads compared to bodies, especially when in this position here you've got the head right in the front, and then the body sort of a background here a bit. So picking up again, so it's going to be about here down the ear, and it's quite just a slope straight down, so a little bit too harsh of a slope there. Slope down, and I gotta remember now, I've got to fit a bulb and I've got to fit 4 legs as well, so we're gonna make sure we give ourselves enough room. So this will probably get changed multiple times. The thing I will be completely honest with that I struggle most on the Pokemon is their feet. So that's going to be fun, considering that's our next bit. Right, so I now I've got my rough line. I'm going to just shape that up a little bit, because he has a little bit of a dent here before it goes up to the body there. So just no need to be completely neat at this level, just knowing what you're doing, where you're going, basically. So you can see that's got a bit more of the curve of the back going down there. Okay, and then so we've established that I think his foot needs to be a bit longer. So I'm going to put the bottom claw there, which established. Grab another pencil. So straight line. So foot's going to be there. And then the front claws are ever so slightly lower, so I'll probably say about here, just to give me some rough measurements, and know that I can fit this onto my page without issues. So Bulbasaur's front leg, the one that probably looks the chubbiest, but not necessarily is. It's gonna do a nice big. Where's he start? So yeah, probably about a little further in from just around where the top is. So I'm just gonna go forward to that line. And then really comes quite quickly. Here we go. And then, so I'll get rid of our reference line now because we're roughly hit there, and we're going to be doing some claws in a second. So we've got our main line here, and then you're going to try and make it so you can see this, but I'm very aware that my cack-handedness is making this difficult, and it's quite small work. Again, as I said, I'm going to be looking at a new webcam because I am aware that this one isn't the greatest. So we've got 2 claws there, and the third one coming in there. Notice that Pokemon's claws are quite triangular in shape, which is quite interesting. And then that's going to go just across there, straight up. Sorry, a little bit of flatness, sorry, I apologise. Straight there. I don't know why I'm apologising, it's my drawing that I have to redo bits of. He's also got one of his little splotches by here, so let's try and get a rough shape there. There we go, look at that, we're getting somewhere. Again, being careful with the smudges, I can normally have my artist brush, which that's my functional neurological sort of kick it in. Gloves, my artist gloves. So yeah, this is part of the reason I'm trying to use drawing as a way to make some monies. I have functional neurological disorder. That entails me mixing up my words, me struggling with some words. Not struggling with some words, that's maybe the wrong term, but window and mirror are a very good example. I will go to say one of the two and the other one will pop out and I'll have absolutely no idea why, but my body goes, nope, that's the word I'm choosing. And I go, oh, okay, great, thanks for that. So there we go, we have back leg and we have a front leg. Nice big bulky back leg there, because as we know, they are actually part of the frog family. So you know, nicely froggy wants to move. And we've got a few claws there. And it does seem to just come straight out there. Alright. The other leg seems to come from just forward of this chin here. And we know it's quite a straight line. It doesn't look as curved as the other one because we're putting pressure down on it, and we know roughly where our line is that we're meeting. And it's just a little triangle there. And then we go around again. This one almost looks like square shaped. I'm not quite sure why it has a different shape to the others. And then again, round a bit. Well, that was awful. I'm going to absolutely be redoing that one. But at the moment, I just want my shape. Goes down a bit and then round. I'm going to say probably to about here, because it still looks a decent size. Now, see, this is where we make a we've realised we've made a mistake, because those two legs are meant to meet, and they are nowhere near meeting. So we've actually gone too long here. We've actually gone far too long. So what we do is we'll make this leg a bit chunkier. And do some correctioning. We'll see it. Or I could just throw my pencil. Oh, I could just throw my pencil on the floor. Excuse me. Yes, so this line comes around here. We've got a little bit of view of the back leg here. So this just look like a bit of a circle, but you see just a little bit of claw sticking out. So you know that's the back leg there. A little bit of a curve on the front leg here. Just curve that at the top. So now, yeah, we've realised we've gone too big, too much on this. So we're going to have to re-scrap this bit entirely, because this bit I'm very happy with, but this is very simple to redo. So we know our reference height is roughly here, so we can keep that. And then everything else is a go. So, and this is why I could never do, those people that just go straight in with pen, I don't know how you do it. It's very impressive. Not in my resume at all. So we're thinking if we do the leg first instead, say. So it's gonna go up to that point. I want it to basically touch, so it's gonna have to be very close actually. Still not quite the shape. So there's always a bit that I find where it's going really, really smoothly, and then there'll be a bit that I get thinking stuck on. And found it already. The bulb I normally found fine. I might add in a bit on this one. It doesn't have the vines, There it is, veins and vines. That's my word switching going on there. But on this one, I think I might add some in because I think they're quite a cool detail and they're quite. Bulbasaur's known for it. Let's be honest. Right, so let's try that again. There we go. Have it there. Get rid of our line there. Right, what do you reckon? That's a bit better, isn't it? And then we'll have our feet, our little claws. Not enough I redo that because I was really happy with those claws. But hey, live and learn. And maybe next time I draw him, I'll get it right. Although, as I put in my tweet earlier, the plan is that this is number 1 of what I think I looked on. There was 1008 now. So there's quite a few we have to go. So if we curve it all, go around here. I'm just going to curve my paper a bit, give me some perspective. I'll go back to where you guys can see in a second. There we go. Oh, that's much nicer. There we go. Took a couple of tries, but we got there. And this time we've already put in the reference curve because I know what was going on. Lovely. I realised how low down the bulb goes as well, so that's fine. And then we have a little line underneath here, attaching everything together, just a little tummy. And we've got some more random line there. Shading and everything I will obviously come on to when I've got the whole picture going. I've been experimenting with that a little bit. So what I've tried recently, or before my hand was injured, is actually shading with the HB pencil, the plain pencil, and then doing the same colour of the watercolour over it. And that's actually produced some quite interesting results. So I'll definitely be intrigued to do that again. So let's have a look. So there we go. Again, we don't really want to have edges as such, as all very curved off lines, so it's another one of his things there. I don't know why I'm saying he. Well, what name should we have for our Bulbasaur? Any ideas for names? Whack them in the comments. Have a nickname for each of our 1008. Sounds so daunting when I say that. 1008 entries. First gen and second gen I know quite well, so I think it'll be easier to draw them in the fact that I know them. But when it comes to later generations, that's going to be interesting, as I don't know them as well. I know so I'm currently playing Pokemon Tabletop United. Sorry about that. I should warn when I'm going to do that on the mic. Oh, that's better. I needed to sharpen that. So I do play. It's basically D&D, but for Pokemon. And we're stuck on this blinking bug gym at the moment. And there's a Volcarona on it that's not sharpened properly. That's better. There's this damn Volcarona. Volcanara. That's how you say it. That's how I say it anyway. And it is whooping our butts. It really, really is. And we cannot figure out. Everything else is like a tank, and they keep throwing themselves in front of it to protect it. And we are just absolutely stuck on this at the moment, and it's really starting to annoy me. I don't know if you can tell by our tone of voice, but it's really starting to annoy me. Okay, we have a body of Bulbasaur. Really, really happy with that. You can tell where I've sharpened my pencil, where I haven't, and my lines aren't as good. So if I do that, hopefully you can see them better in the monitor as well. I'll post up some webcams afterwards and see if it's worth it. But hey, there we go. Do a little bit closer. Whoop. Look at that. That's happy. We'll go into the bulb. I bet you the bulb is going to be a pain, because I can just feel it. But no, positivity. We're going to have positivity. So we're going to go. It looks like it's quite a way into the head. Figure out how to hold the paper here. And we're going to hope that we left ourselves enough room. Curve down into this little sort of plant trumpet shape. And then the next line comes from sort of around the ear. I think again, the ear, now I'm looking at it, isn't quite the right angle. It's too high up. So I think if we actually curve that down slightly, move that line down slightly, that's going to be slightly better. And that also lines up better with the line that we need for the bulb. It's got a lot of tweaking as we go. And actually using the rubber correctly, so it would be good. I might change pencil. I don't think that. I think that broke slightly as I sharpened it. It doesn't feel quite right. Lines seem a bit too harsh. I know that probably sounds stupid. Blowing. I'm giving you a heads up now. Who is my one lovely viewer? I don't know if it's you still, JJ, or if it's someone else. But thank you for sticking around. Really appreciate it. Okay, so then we've got. So yeah, so this now comes from the tip of the ear, goes around. So this is, again, we don't have actually a complete line here. It sort of goes in and then comes back round to finish this peak here. Nope, that's completely wrong, Sarah. That does not finish that peak there. That is not looking at your reference as you're drawing. That actually comes around and does its own peak in the middle. And that then attaches to said peak. Now, I'm going to have to change pencil. Something's happened to that one. Try sharpen it again, maybe? Maybe that was it. Ooh, my squirtle just went flying. A little 3D printed squirrel man. Still getting used to that. There he is. A little Kiwi man. Painted some of those. They're great fun to paint. You can find those on Thingiverse. Right. Has that actually done nice? My hands are absolutely covered in pencil. Let's see if we can paint with do that. That doesn't look right to start. No, it's not. It almost feels scratchy. I'm gonna have to have a look at that afterwards. I do have a spare one, thankfully. I did come prepared enough for that. 2H, and you look relatively sharpened already. So let's try that. Otherwise, worst comes to worst, we'll go to HB, because that's what I used to draw with anyway. So it doesn't matter. My H's, as I said, I'm not in my own house at the moment, so they've got walkies. So let's try it. Oh, that feels better. That feels so much better. Yeah, I think that one was like almost starting to scratch at the surface. So there we go. So go there to there. Put it down. So now again, I'm going to do this from here. It looks like it references. It goes from there. Now there's something not quite right. I don't think this second line is right. Because that almost makes it look like it should be. It's sort of shifted across slightly. I might do that line. I might start that line more there. Yeah, that looks better. That looks more the right shape. I'm not really. Yes, okay, I'm using Bulbasaur reference. I'm not aiming for this to be an absolute perfect Bulbasaur. It's my Bulbasaur at the end of the day. So he's going to have some ever so slight differences. Maybe that could be a challenge. Spot the difference between my Bulbasaur and the. I should learn the artist of each of the Pokemon I'm doing in advance, shouldn't I? That'd be a good little bit of trivia, wouldn't it? So I'm going to figure out how far down his bum this goes. Right, I'm going to spin around a second, try and get a nice curve of the plant. Lovely. And then look at the top. That's much better. Much better. Yeah, that's more like it. Still something not quite right. I can't place my finger on it. As it develops, maybe I'll see. There's something about this bit, and I can't quite figure out what I'm not sure about. I think that needs to be more curved. I think I'll do that. Needs to be more of a curved shape like the top one. And there we go. There was a Bulbasaur. Rough first layer of sketch. So how long did that take us? That was 50. Well, we had a little bit of problem to start with, didn't we? So probably more like 35 minutes of actual drawing just to get base layer. So that's about right for me to get to this layer. Quite proud of that actually. I think he's come out quite well for the first time of picking up a pencil in, as I say, a couple of months. Quite happy with that. Just doing a couple of tidy up lines now, seeing if I'm happy with where those are. And look at that. Fantastic. Right, vines. We're going to do vines, won't we? Let's have a little look, see if we can see where he uses them. So let's go. I think I did one 4. Yeah, okay, so they're quite thick, right? So they come from, it looks like they come from, well, depends if you're using the anime or not. Looks like they come from really the base here, right at the base. So, I think I have coming right through here. Again. I have to have a certain angle to be able to do my curves, otherwise my curves don't come out right. And say Pokemon involves a lot of curves. So we are going to want to get the thickness of this right, and it does have a bulbous shape at the end, so sort of going on there. Lovely, I like that a lot. So just having it a bit, and then behind, what am I showing? Oh, I haven't moved enough. I'm sorry, watch, but I am streaming. We won't be moving much today. So we just need to obviously take out the little bits that's going to be behind the scenes here. Lovely, yeah, happy with that. Ooh, that didn't. The first line was better than the second. And then I think we'll just have another one just popping through behind here, because else you won't be seeing it coming up. And again, just sort of having it meet up near where we see the other one. A nice curve in it again. Try and have it look like the same thickness pretty much, and then bulb it up there. There we go, how's that look? Pretty happy with that. Just going to take a photo of it for the Twitter. Quite happy with that. I don't know if this has access actually. So if you tell me, if I'll have a look, see if I can. Don't know if I can post in my own chat. Or I can change the settings. That's always scary. That's fine. What's that? I'll post it on my Twitter very shortly. Okay, so now we'll have a look at, so we can get rid of you again, put you back up to half screen. I've got a lovely, it's one thing I have got, it's got a lovely curved monitor at the moment, so I've got Bulbasaur this half, and then you lovely folks on this half. One viewer who has stayed with me, potentially same viewer anyway, thank you very much, I do really appreciate it. I know this is, to be honest, I was expecting to talk to myself the whole time, so I may well be, I don't know if you're paying attention, but I really, really appreciate it either way. So next, let's have a look at some highlighting. Got a nice fresh pencil for this, which is good. Not highlighting, shading. Same difference. That's going to annoy a lot of artists. So let's get that line looking nicer. Okay, so let's have a look. So we've got the under the chin here. Gonna have a little bit there. So let's get this chin line a lot more set, and we might actually use some of that sketching to represent some of the shading. So it goes up there, and then I just use a little bit of gentle back and forth sort of highlight there, and then just a little bit of finger smudging afterwards, so it doesn't look so rough and look so obviously pencil lines. Normally, I don't know why I've always done this, I have my light source coming from this corner here, going across edge, just a habit. I think a lot of people do that, looking at other works as well. It looks like here, if you have a look on his bulb, have a look at his bulb next, there's a nice curve across, so just going to have some, yeah, it's going to be behind the vines as well, and just curve it up, so you can see the curve of the bulb there. A little bit of shade in there, and again this is sort of going to be covered by the colour we're using as well, so I'm going to use the same colour here and here on the two sides of the bulbs, but then the darker shading underneath will bring that darkness to the colour. It's been an interesting way to try it, but it seems to have had some good results so far anyway, and then we'll do the same for this bulb as well. It's quite a fine line between sort of making it look like shading and making it look like just scratching a page, and then also you don't want it too hard. You want it light enough that it's actually touching a page, light enough that it's doing something, and then not too hard that it's sort of looks like a main line and then looks deeper than the rest of it. So there, and then just a little bit of a finger rub, get that all melted together. Lovely. Gonna have a little bit of shading behind his head here as well, because of where it is. Lovely. This is just normal sketch paper as well. It's really a nice feeling to it. There's a little bit of, tiny bit of shading under his nose there. Obviously we've got this shading where the chest comes, sort of bellows down. So get the shading there. It really starts making him pop at this point, I feel like, when you start really putting the shading in. He looks nice enough as it is, just as a, what did I say, 35-minute, 40-minute sketch. But then you start putting the shading in, and he starts looking like a real boy. Sorry, that was way too tempting. I can't see much on the picture on there, but I think if you're being real, there's going to be a little bit rounding on the legs. I feel like there'd be a bit of shading on the leg there as well, just sort of round out that leg a bit. That little leg at the back as well. So again, to make it clear that we have the leg there, I'm going to do a harsher line here that later on my biro will follow, and then harsher line there to show that that's, and then sometimes I have to redo the lines that I've accidentally rubbed a bit too much with the shade, but that's fine. Again, this line is going to probably need to be redone for the shading, because I think we'll just put a little bit sort of around the elbow, just the back a bit, and they're going to need a bit for the tummy as well. I do a lot of, I don't know if you noticed, I do a lot of sort of twisting my pencil around as well, trying to get the right angle, right amount of pencil, right amount of harshness. So there we go. That's going to be quite dark under there, so we'll really fill in that little bit there. My head, I feel like, is getting closer and closer to the, I don't think you could see the mic before, but now you can. I hope, by the way, if you can't hear me properly as well, do let me know. I think I've got everything maxed up on my mic, but do let me know. And then we'll just have a little bit on the bum as well. I always feel like there's one Pokemon that I think almost looked like he should have had tail, because his bum sort of just feels like it, like the end of him just sort of falls off a bit. He sort of, here's your Bulbasaur, and then he just sort of disappears. So there we go. And again, as I said, whoop, miss pencil there. Just redefine that line on his back there, and I accidentally flicked my pencil across there. Oh, that corner was used. There we go. So there we go. We've got a bit of shade in there as well. So a little bit of mouth as well. That was it. They do. It's interesting Pokemon. They have it so that like the front of the tongue is light, but the back of the tongue is dark. So we'll follow in that same measure. Just have a darkness in the mouth here. There we go. Just a bit of mushing that in there. And we'll get, there's the tongue. There's definition of the mouth. There's our little teethy there. You know, see, reminds me of when you see cats and they're like just upside down. And you see this little tiny tooth just sticking out. Reminds me of that a little bit when I do when I've done Bulbasaur in the past. So there we go. It's like he's a lot more 3D now. Really happy with that. Looks like he's got a bit more body in him. I might just do a tiny bit more on sort of coming back a bit from here, so it looks a little less harsh. Lovely. Really happy with that. I wasn't actually expecting to get that done so quickly, not gonna lie. Again, photo for the stages. And check that the world hasn't ended. Lovely, look at that. Technically, we'd need some, I'd just put a little bit of sort of darkness, a darker line on the bottom of the vine here. I think I'll let the colour do that a bit more. And just a little bit under the bulb, just so you can see that the bulb is in fact curved. There we go. That's it. Perfect. Alright. I mean, it's not perfect, but I'm very happy with that. Quite happy indeed. I might lighten that back just a little bit. Spread A little bit there. Okay, colours. Unfortunately, I don't. Again, one of the things, I don't have a paintbrush at the moment. So watercolour pencils is interesting. So we're potentially going to improvise with cocktail sticks. Because the main thing is I got my water, I got my colours, but just when you watercolour them, it makes them look very, very nice. But as I said, my paintbrush, I have so many paintbrushes, and I can tell you exactly where they are, I think, in my own home. But I'm not in my own home at the moment because I like having some sort of heating. We haven't had any heating since mid-December, so we've had all of Christmas and New Year's and my birthday in a couple of days without heating, which is fantastic. Just waiting for the last of the quotes to come through now, and then I cry as we hand over our credit card. Fantastic. So I think I got congratulated on my setup on Twitter. That was nice, wasn't it? Yeah, so I got limited colours. I might not do all of Bulbasaur tonight. I might take a trip home and see if I can get some more colours. I know I've got another set of these watercolours, but they're wider variety. But I think for now, I think this. Let's have a look. We've got quite a light, nice blue here. I'm thinking that might make a nice blue for the bulb itself. This deeper blue, I think, would be good for the patches. However, I don't really, unfortunately, have a blue for the main body of him. I got a nice pink for his tongue, for his mouth. Got a nice red for his eyes. Unfortunately, I don't think, looking at my colours, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're seeing something I'm not, I don't think I've got his main colour. So what I'll do is I'll do the colours I can, go home, and then next week, because it's going to be regular, every Sunday at least, 5 p.m. GMT, we will be here. I will be here, hopefully with you. Okay, let's do a nice small area first. Let's get his tongue all done. We could just start and see if this is going to be too pink or if it's okay. It's quite pink, but I think it's a tongue, so we could do this. We could do a different amount of layering as well, see how much it works. You can really see the difference between where the pink is without the shading and with the shading. Just mostly a case of follow the lines now. Yeah, it's kind of pink. One thing I really like about these colours as well is you really do get a build up. The more you use it, the heavier it will be. Sometimes I find with some colouring pencils, it doesn't build up very well. But I think because these are slightly painty. Yes, I'm using that as a word now. Because these are sorry, my cat made me jump. Because these are slightly painty, you can actually build them quite well. So you can really go for like the level of boldness that you want with them. And obviously, being Pokemon, we want pretty bold. That ton does go all the way across there. I have still got my reference in front of me. Still want to make sure I'm keeping to roughly what Bulbasaur would look like. But you can see that pink that wasn't touched by the shading is actually lighter than the one that was. If I do that, and then this is where the experiment is. We're going to see if the cocktail stick, I'm just going to take the end off so it doesn't oh, that went horribly wrong. I was just going to take the end of the cocktail stick off so it doesn't stab my page so much. No, I just created like a billion little ends instead. Alright, let's try, because we just need a little bit of water to what I might do then, I don't like doing this, but I might just tap. There we go. I just tapped my pink in there. It's much better if you can do it with a brush afterwards, but just tapping the end of the pencil in did work. It's not doing the best thing for my pencil itself though. Very, very little. Yes, my hand is going to be covered by the end of it if I keep doing that. Absolutely will be. I'm a very, very messy artist. I feel quite proud of myself calling myself that. Can't make any money. I'm not making any money at the moment off this, but maybe in the future. I do commissions. I have started opening up for commissions. So if there's anything, either anything Pokemon you want, or if you want, it looks really bright without anything else. Or if you want, just make sure I dry that off. Just go get some tissue. Yeah, if there is any commissions you want, let me know. If you do want Pokemon related, or I have made D&D characters in this style that people have wanted before, do let me know. I'd be happy to discuss it with you. So we haven't really got the colour that goes next to the ton there, so I'll leave that for now. I think let's get this nice red eyes. So I think, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, and let's get a nice bold layer for the red there. I think that'll look really nice. Try and have it all equal. Again, if you do want any of those commissions, head over to my Twitter, shadowj_b, and I will be happy to discuss that with you. I'm still working on my pricing, so bear with me. But yeah, I'd happily discuss any projects with people, because I am unable to work, so this hopefully can become my income in the future. Me hopes. So it'd be lovely to get that going with some commissions. So that's looking nice. Really like that. Not convinced on that pink. Don't know if I made a mistake right off the bat with that pink, but I'm hoping when the other colours are going in. I have thin. Why am I not using? Okay, so let's have a look at this red with the water. Excuse me a second. Really conscious I don't want to blow anyone's ear out with the microphone. That looks like a nice, lovely. It's almost like a pinky red in the picture, but I'm liking this bold look. I'm really struggling to get the paint the way I want it though. I managed to get. I think I had too much water on the end of my cocktail stick, which I didn't know was a possible thing then. Okay, can confirm. I don't think we think cocktail stick is working. Oh well, they cost me like £1, and I'm sure I'll use them in the future. There you go. No harm, no foul. We just discovered something today. That's fine. What I might do is I might just colour them normally today, and then see if I can add the water in, find a paintbrush, go home, find my paintbrush, and I'll do a couple of little tweaks before stream next time. Because obviously that eye doesn't look quite right now, but when it dries I'll be able to play with it, hopefully. But I think overall that red is a good choice, especially with the limited colour palette that we did have. Alright. Yeah, really happy we didn't have to make a huge number of adjustments when it came to getting the shape of our Bulbasaur out, which still needs a name, by the way. Don't forget. Oh, my head's really going close to the thing. I told you, get a nice view of my big head. Oh, look at that! that's looking Halloweeny right now. Look at that. That is. Oh, I always forget which way this goes. That's looking Halloweeny and a half. But very, very happy with that. Again, I will play with the paintbrush and just tweak the colours that we've already done. Okay, so we're thinking this dark one here. Yeah, so I'm going to build that up, make it even darker. What's that? I'm just going to text what the other yellow looks like. Oh yeah, that's the colour for that. Yeah. So we're just gonna build this up, make it nice and dark for the patches. Again, I'll do the watercolour element of it off screen, but I won't add any more colours. I'll finish that off on stream. There's a crease in my paper that I hadn't come across yet. There we go. That's what I get for doing it on a little notepad instead of proper. Well, it is sketch paper, but it's a notepad. I think it was Hobbycraft had a sale on a while ago, and it was like 10 notebooks for £1 or something stupid like that. So I grabbed as many as I could. So I got pictures in the one right here as well. Is that all of his splodges I've drawn on? Yes, I believe I have. So it's just a case of colouring in right now. Looking lovely. Look at this. There we go. What do we reckon about some music in the background next time? Do we think we want that, or do we like it as just a chill chat stream without music? Let me know in the comments as well. Although I've had like one comment the entire stream. But hey, everyone's got to start somewhere, and this is my start. So I'll post this on YouTube. See if I get any comments on there as well. This is a diddy little shape to get some shading on. Look at this. It's coming out more on the camera as well now, which is nice to see. I think turning the lights down earlier was good because I think it was reflecting off the paper too much, so you couldn't see. I'll have a look at webcams because I do want to keep this up as a regular thing, and if you can't see what I'm drawing, it's kind of a bit pointless, isn't it? And they might come with, so this is a webcam that's just hooked on top of my monitor, as you probably guessed, which means it's not ideal at the angle, but maybe you might be able to get one and get a much better angle. Again, it's just a flip screen so that you can see what I'm seeing, so it's not all upside down these for you. But yeah, really happy with this coming across. My one viewer, you are being faithful to me. I very much appreciate it. I don't think I'll be on for too much longer now. I think doing these in hour splits is good for my health anyway, but also people's attention span. And also, I don't have my other colours to complete our boy here. So hopefully next week when I visited home and picked up my paintbrushes and stuff, I'll be able to finish our boy off. But hey, he's looking pretty good if I say so myself. But yeah, what do you reckon? It's going to be about a 90-minute stream, I'm going to say. I think that's a good length. People don't get too bored. I don't get too bored. And also these headphones I can only keep on for a certain period of time. And this is the only way you can actually hear me. So I know I'm blocking a lot of the screen right now. It's just because we've got doing all around the head here. When I'm on the bulb, you'll be able to see him in all his glory. I'm trying to make all of these patches about. Did you see that? Is it just me, or did I just lose my entire light for a second? That was weird. Maybe this is a Halloween Halloween Bulbasaur. I'm just drawing him at the wrong time of year. But yeah, I wonder what Pokemon we will be up to by Halloween. Someone can probably figure it out. I am concentrating on my Bulbasaur and really can't bother to figure it out. There we go. Try and get the curve around there. Fantastic. So just the bulb, and then I think we'll call it for the night. Well, evening, or whatever time it is where you are. I don't necessarily know if I've got a British audience or not. Oh, that's a nice colour for that. Go nice and bold for our Bulbasaur. But unfortunately, we just don't have that almost. So what colour are those vines? That's a good question. They're quite deep. I don't think I have that deeper colour. Let's have a look. That was my. Let's just stab myself with a pencil. It's fine. No, I mean I can make them brown. There's some art where it makes it look like they're brown. So yeah, let's go for sort of slightly browny. I'll do it like light brown. vines, and it's literally just his body we have to do. So that's looking good. And yeah, I'm sure I've got more colours at home. I think I've got a picture in my head of my house, of my dining room, of my art table. So at the moment, I'm stealing my in-laws' dining table. Next week, I'll probably be in their office. So I'm hoping that this setup will still be big enough. And then that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah, I like the colour. It's not as bold as the other colours that you can see. But I don't think I know it's the bulb of Bulbasaur, but I don't think it's meant to be as bold when it comes to the colours, especially compared to the blotches and the eyes and stuff. They're the big colours, but you can see. Oh, I keep doing it the wrong way. There we go. Can't see that it's going on there. I do wonder if that. So that looks like. No, you can't see it. I wonder if that light power outage moment readjusted my lights. It was very weird. If I was at home and being super lazy like normal, I would have Alexa lights because my boyfriend and I are so lazy. Okay, right. Yeah, that's looking nice, isn't it? That's a very nice colour. Really happy with that. So let's have a look now. This has been interesting to see how it looks as we're going into the shaded area, to see how much shading that makes a difference. So we don't really have to keep. It's nice broad. I really like having these nice broad areas every now and then. The finicky bits are fun, but just being able to really stroke with it. If I was feeling crampy in my hand or something like that, I could switch to left if I wanted to, but I'm not majorly practiced in it, so I normally just keep it for like big sweeping things. If I'm doing a canvas or something like that, on the rare occasion I've got like a large canvas in front of me, and I'm sort of switching from right to left, I'll literally have it in my hands and I'll go jump, 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 jump as I'm going across. It's quite fun. I used to make some of my friends in school in art class jealous of that. Although in art class I never ever, that was a little bit outside. In art class I never used to do this. This was not my thing. I think it was when I was in school back in the day. It was frowned upon to do like fan work and that sort of thing. Yeah, that shading really is showing a difference between the colours. Yeah, fan work wasn't real work. It was your work had to be if it wasn't copying the greats. Your work has to be unique, has to be yeah, like something in popular culture like Pokemon. It's not real art. It was very much the snobbish thought process of a lot of my time was spent with Miss Lamont, who was known as La Bitch for a reason. My apologies, I don't know how old you are, my viewer. I don't know if you like swearing or not. Probably should have warned on that. But she was. She kind of lived up to that title quite well. Yeah, I think that shading has mixed in. Almost makes it look mossy like. I quite like that sort of effect. Again, we'll see when I've got my paintbrush how that will look as well. But I'm generally quite happy about that. We'll do a little bit of these vines now. Then we'll call it a day. Yeah, that's a lightish brown. Kind of a woody brown. So again, we've got a tiny bit of shading on under the bulb, but we can also just go a bit heavier on this brown itself, just to give it that 3D look right there. I'll clear my hand out of the way in a moment and show you. There we go. You can see just a little curve of the brown there, and then I'll do the same on this one. This one I made a little not as curved, so I'll correct that a little bit with the brown pencil because it's dark enough to do that with. There we go. Yeah, I think the brown's a nice counter actually to all that green. I actually had a good thought. I occasionally apparently do still have them. You know, I'm getting old in a couple of days' time. Right, it's one of my big birthdays if you hadn't figured out. There we go. So yeah, so that's gonna look really, really good with the. I'm gonna again. I'll have to find it. It's gonna have the thick biro edging. But yeah, here we are. I'm gonna try and get it to cooperate. That's our Bulbasaur so far. We'll get his finishing touches all done next week. Really, really happy with him. What on earth is that in my hand? Oh, it's red. Ooh, I can't do colours. That way. I will put the colours in correctly, sort of. There we go. Yeah, really, really gutted. I don't have a good enough colour for the body here. It would end up being a bluey, and that's just not right. I'm pretty sure I've got one at home. Otherwise, it's gonna have to be sort of mixing. I mean, he looks pretty good as he is. I'm quite happy with that. But no, he looks a bit ghosty at the moment. I'm gonna call it there. I think. Thank you so much for being with me, my one viewer. I think. Well, it was slightly delayed. It says the session is now in 10, 11. But I think that's I had a few technical issues to start with, so that's more my end. So I think this is a nice length of time. Maybe it would have taken an extra 10 minutes by the time I'd done the body and done the paint, and then an extra 10 minutes for the biro. So that's roughly how long it takes me to do one of my pictures, basically. It's got a lot quicker. Years ago, it did not take me this long. It took me a lot longer, but quite proud. Thank you for joining me again, and I'll see you next week again, 5 p.m. GMT. Don't forget, again, please follow, please subscribe. It's being my first subscriber will mean so much. It really, really would. Twitter, ShadowJ_B. YouTube, again, I'm revamping my YouTube. Is also going to be, hopefully, ShadowJ_B. So this stream is going to be on there as well. See you all next week. I need to work on an outro thing. Bye. End stream.